I tried doing Facebook Live again, guys, and it didn't work. So I gave up, and we're just gonna do YouTube. And if there's only 4 people watching, then there's only 4 people watching. I don't know what else to do. I was really excited about doing this tutorial, and then it didn't work out, so I'm determined to do it. Even if I've only got 2 people watching. Hey, Rusty! And even if only one of the people is my little sister. I don't even know if I can look this up on YouTube to watch myself. I'm not good at this at all. I am going to look on Facebook to see if maybe anybody else saw my link. My internet sucks. Wait just a few minutes. See if I can get some more people to jump on. I was gonna do red and white, but I felt like that was gonna be kind of hard. So I think I decided I'm gonna do red. Can't really see it real good. It's scarlet red and silver champagne. It's kind of gold, but not really gold. So I know one person's my little sisters, the other 2 from our group on Facebook. Yeah, the Christmas colors is what I thought would be good. I wanted to do fall colors, but it's supposed to snow here tomorrow, so might as well do Christmas. I feel horrible. I was back and forth between Facebook and YouTube. I couldn't get... Facebook was not cooperating. I heard from admin, and you do have to have a live video approved before you can do a live on that group anyways. And so I did hear back from somebody and said that they would be happy to approve it, just to let them know when I wanted to go live. And I told them I wanted to go live now, but I never heard anything else. So that's what we're doing now. Back to YouTube. Let me see if I can. Still only 3 people. I was going to post the link a couple more times. Let's see. We may just go ahead. I've been on 6 minutes now, so may go ahead and just start. Ooh, one more. Okay, so I'm gonna go over supplies, what I've got handy while I wait. Maybe some more will jump on. Hey, sorry about the confusion. We're gonna do it for real this time, I promise. Okay, so I have paper plates and Mod Podge. Mod Podge. I never say it right. I have some spoons handy for glitter. It works best for me because I'm really messy. And I've got some little Dixie cups. I use one for Mod Podge, so I'm not dipping my paintbrush back and forth from the glitter to the paint, or from the glitter to the Mod Podge back into my big container. And then I just throw this out. I don't always use it all, but and then I have one. We're gonna mix our glitters to do. Okay, so you have a solid here. Okay, and so your blues, right? And then you have a black. It's whatever color you're using. And then these colors in between are your mixed. And what you do is you mix it however you want. When I did this blue and black one, I did 2 scoops of blue and 3 scoops of the black to get this mixed in the middle. And what I found out is, and very important when you're doing this, is to pay attention to what squares are which, because the solid colors are never stacked on each other. Or for this one I used Recollections. It's from Michael's. I started out with my cheap glitter since it was my first tumbler, because I was gonna feel really bad if I used my more expensive glitter and I messed up my tumbler. Then I'd cry because I wasted my good glitter. So I just used Recollections from Michael's. I used the ebony, and I think, hold on just a sec, I used the marine from Recollections also. So that's what I used for that. But like I said, I took 2 scoops of the blue and 3 scoops of the black and mixed together in a cup really well. And then that's what I did for my middle pieces. So if you get that mixed up, your buffalo plaid's not really going to look like a buffalo plaid. I have to put headphones in if the kids are at home so I can concentrate on this. Otherwise, I know I'm going to mix up. So, anyways, let's see, glitter, plates, spoons. I don't think I grabbed my regular paintbrush. I used a foam brush for the solid color, the first solid color that I did on the cup when I was doing my Mod Podge. I tried cutting it because my squares are smaller, because I used the small electrical tape. You can use any size tape you want. I know some use masking tape. I don't do well with masking tape. It's horrible. The electrical tape worked really well with me. So I don't think this is really 3/4. I think a lot of some of the buffalo plaids use the 3/4. This is not actually 3/4, but it's just what I grabbed from the Dollar Tree. Your squares are bigger when you start, and then when you get into your smaller right here, I've seen people cut this. I tried that, it didn't work really well. So I used, one more time, hold on. I just used a regular soft bristle paintbrush. It worked really well for me because I was also able to do a really crisp line with my Mod Podge when I was painting on my Mod Podge. So, sorry guys, I'm not good at this, so if I sound like I'm jumping around, I'm sorry. If you have any questions, just ask me. I can see comments. I'll try to catch comments and answer as I'm going. If not, I'm going to post this later, so I'll try to answer any questions then in comments if I can, okay? So to save a little bit of time, I'm going to start out with 2 cups. I have one that is my base coat painted, ready to go. And then I went ahead and taped my second cup so that I could paint my second color on top of all my tape. That way you wouldn't have to wait on me for my paint to dry. But if I need to, I can do step by step. And if somebody's, I know when I first said I was going to do this, I was going to have some folks that were going to follow along with me. Sorry if I kind of screwed that up. So what we'll do is if I need to, we'll go step by step. Whatever you need me to show you, whatever questions, we'll cover it. So we'll go to this one first. You don't have to base coat if you don't want to. You can do stainless if you want. I like the base coats because it helps get a better coverage with my glitter, and I don't use as much glitter when I have a base coat. Sometimes I coordinate my paint to my glitter, not always, so it's just however you want to do that. Okay, so just start with your base coat, and then there is a lady that I watched her tutorial on these buffalo plaids. She is great. If you can look her up, I know she's not, I'm pretty sure she's not in the Tumblers for Beginners, I think is what our group's called. I'm in so many groups it's hard to keep up. But Jennifer L. Ness is, I believe, her name. And she come up with these really cool templates. I know that's probably backwards from what I see, but anyway, she came up with these really awesome templates to help get a straight line with your tape, and I use these. If I need to link it or send you the link for these, I can. I don't really know how to do that, but I'll figure it out. But I use these and it helps a lot. So I'm not in any way, shape, or form am I going to take credit for these, because I did not. This is genius. I wish I would have. So anyways, you have a top and a bottom, and I think the ones that she originally made these for was a different brand. This is just the Built brand stainless steel tumbler from Walmart in the home goods department. I love them because they're straight and they're really easy to work with without any curves. I haven't tried to do a 30 ounce yet, and I don't really want to because of the curve in it. But she has, if you can get in, if you're in multiple tumbler groups like I am, you should be able to just search the group and find her, and she does a video on the 20 and a 30 ounce, and she's great. So see if you guys can find her and watch hers. It's a long video, but I have a feeling this one's going to be long by the time we're done. So anyways, you take, I know this says top, but it's going to go on the bottom because it fits this tumbler. So it says 3/4 tape. Like I said, my tape is not 3/4. It's a little bit smaller, I believe. But it'll work. That's what I used on my other one. So I just take a little piece of tape. Yeah, the back to basic. Yeah. I'm on so many groups that I can't keep up. So I knew she's in one. I think she did say she posted the video for the Buffalo Plaid in a couple of groups, and I know she has the link for the templates that she done also, but I couldn't find it, so I'm giving her credit though. Okay, so put a little piece of tape on the back, and I don't know how, I'm going to move the camera here in a minute so you guys can see what I'm doing, but for now I'm just going to do this. Okay, so you take the template that's going to fit the base of your cup the best, okay? I'm going to hold this up a little bit. The round covers your cup, okay? And so, let me move this a little bit. I tape this on, and it's not going to stay there. It's just so you can get your lines, okay? So you take and you put this on here, and then you flip this over. Then you've got another one. This one also says top, but it fit my lid the best. You're going to want to use your lid to do this part, okay? So you take your template and you tape it with a couple of pieces to your lid, and the little notch that you have on your lid that helps you pull it off your tumbler, I put that in between these little spaces. This is your tape tabs, okay? So this is what you're going to use to line your tape up, okay? So this is going to go, your little notch is going to go in between these two tabs, okay? And then you're going to line, let me move this a little bit more, guys. You're going to line up, I have stuff everywhere. You're going to line up your top, let me see if I can turn this, your top tab, your bottom tab, I'm sorry, your bottom tab with your top tab. And the easiest way that I found to do that is to take a ruler or something with a straight edge and you put it in the middle of your bottom tab, okay, and then you put it in the middle of your top tab, okay, and then once you do that, once you get that lined up, you just push your lid on, okay. Then you take your tape. It's not going to be exactly perfect, but it's going to be pretty good, okay. Then what you do is you take your electrical tape. Like I said, you can use masking tape. I chose to use electrical tape. It works better for me. But when you do it, the electrical tape will it'll stretch and it'll warp if you're not careful. So when I do it, make sure you pull a really good strand off. I say strand. A good size piece that's going to go top to bottom, okay? When you pull it continuously like that, it's not going to warp it as much. So then, and sometimes I stick it to my shirt so it's not as sticky. Okay, so then you take your tumbler. I'm going to see if I can turn where you guys can see this. And you don't want to completely tape it to your lid because then that'll be hard. It makes it harder to get your lid off, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to take and line your tape up in your tab, okay? Like so. And you stick this top part, okay? Then what you'll do is you don't stick it all the way down, okay? See how there's a gap there? I haven't stuck it all the way down. That way I can adjust it if I need to, okay? So I line it up down here on my bottom tab, okay? And then stick it. And then run it up and down, and you make sure you've got a really good stuck down really well, okay? Alright. And this is going to come off too, so you don't have to have it stuck on that part either. Okay? So, do I have anybody following along? Am I being too complicated and jabbering too much? I'm not getting any feedback, so I can't see comments really well. I know I don't have very many people on. I can always post this later though, so. Let me read comments for a sec. Okay. Anybody following along? No? Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and keep going. And once I get... Okay, good deal. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. This is the time-consuming part, so this kind of sucks. But this is what takes the longest. Well, I say this is what takes the longest. The glitter part took me a while, too. Just because I wanted to make sure I took my time. And, didn't get my squares mixed up or anything like that. Okay. I have to work on my camera skills too. I'm not very good at that either. Okay. Okay. This is the not fun part. You guys get to listen to me jabber while I just tape. I'm not good at straight lines. Once you get, you're going to do vertical taping, and then you're also going to do horizontal taping. and then you're going to do your second color. And you're going to have, you have vertical and horizontal taping. Then you're going to paint your second color. You're going to start taking your tape off, and eventually you're going to have no tape. And so you will have to do a little bit of freehand work, but since you have your part of your squares already glittered, you're going to have a guideline to go by, so it's not going to be super hard to get your lines straight. This cup was pretty intimidating to me. I knew I wanted to do it, but it was kind of intimidating because I can't do straight lines. And I knew it was going to be a lot of glitter. But it really wasn't, I'm not coordinated, it really wasn't too bad once I got going. I had my cup painted and taped off for about 3 days before I finally decided that I was going to go ahead and just do it. And if I mess it up, I mess it up. But I got that from the Dollar Tree, so I don't feel as bad about wasting the black tape. I feel bad that I know there was people on Facebook that wanted to follow along. So some are missing out, which some are probably already in bed too. I don't know where everybody was watching from. But I know it is kind of late. I'm talking and doing this at the same time. I'm not getting my tape very straight. These templates are a lifesaver. I don't think I would have ever been able to get my my line straight if I hadn't had these templates to use. I have also seen in the group where she posted this tutorial originally with the templates, that there were other people that were using these templates and they were doing the candy cane stripes. I haven't figured that one out, but they're using the template to get their diagonal lines. So these are pretty handy. I wish I could come up with super cool shortcuts and tricks like that. Okay, so we have all of our vertical lines taped. Okay. I have this over here I'm going to use. Okay, so we have all of our vertical lines taped. Okay, pretty simple. Okay, just stick this down really well. Okay, let me make sure I'm not missing any comments. Okay, so now at this point, since you have all your vertical lines ready to go, you can pull your lid off, okay? You won't need that anymore. You can also pull your template off the bottom, okay? Some people take the tape all the way to the bottom and meet it in the middle and glitter that. I didn't want to do that because I was afraid that it wouldn't come out even. So what I've done is I just cut it off even. I'm not even going to cut it off. I'll just fold these over. Okay. Because when I get ready to do my second coat, I use the lid from my spray can and set it on the bottom of my cup, like so, and sprayed around with my second color so that I did not paint the bottom. The reason why is because when you set your cup down, when you're glittering, if you have to set it down for any reason, you don't have to worry about the paint getting anywhere. And also, Jennifer, when she does hers, she takes and does a contrasting color or a coordinating color. Like if she does a red and black buffalo plaid, she does the bottom. Sometimes she leaves it stainless steel and doesn't do the bottom. And on another one that I saw, I've seen others do it. They do it solid gold on the bottom, which is really pretty. On my blue and black one that I haven't done the bottom yet, but I think I'm just going to glitter it back. But anyways, so I cover it with, you need also take a cup, but I haven't had any luck finding a cup to fit on that just right. So I just use my spray paint lid so that you don't spray the bottom, okay? Okay, so my tape's not sticking. Now, I used just basic white. I know I didn't cover this a while ago, and I don't think I went all over my supplies, but I used just the semi-gloss white Rust-Oleum from Walmart to do my base coat. And then my top coat was the Colonial Red. See that? I have a couple of really pretty glitters that I want to do the Buffalo Plaid in, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to find coordinating paint, so I may just have to use white. Okay, so I think I've seen this probably been done several different ways when you do your horizontal straps, but this is what worked easiest for me. When I taped this one off earlier, the tape worked out really well that I started right on the edge here with my tape, and then when I got done, it lined up really well on the bottom too. So you could, on this one, the way I'm doing this, you could start at the top or the bottom, but I started at the top. Okay, and again, just pull off a really good strand so you're not stretching your tape out very much. That probably looks weird, but I just like it to not be super sticky. Okay, and so let me see if I can get close enough where you guys can see this really well. My lighting's not real great either. Okay, so I'm going to line my tape's edge up with the edge of my tumbler, okay? And I have to tell myself not to pull on the tape too much so that it doesn't distort my tape, but sometimes I still do. Okay. So just take and line it up. I'm trying to angle where you guys can see this. All the way around. Okay. I keep doing that. The hubby and the kiddo are trying to go to bed, and Mom's in here making all kinds of noise. Okay. Okay, so I went all the way around. Okay. And I'm just going to roll this tape's edge, okay, so that I know where to pick, because when I get ready to pull that off, I want to, that way I know where I started. And I'm going to start each horizontal stripe on this same row here, so that it's all on the same, and I don't have to hunt for the end to pull my tape, okay? Okay, so in order to get your spacing evenly spaced down through the tumbler, this was another trick that Jennifer had in her tutorial, okay? You take another piece, just like I did with this one, okay? But instead of skipping, you're going to put it right up against your first row, okay? And there's a little bit of a, you can see the white coming through just a little bit. It's okay if you're consecutive with it, and each row has a little bit of a line there, a little bit of a peak, a little bit of a base coat peeking through. It's fine. My bottom still turned out okay. But now this piece here is gonna come off. This isn't gonna stay. So I mean, I know it looks like, oh my God, I'm covering up my squares, but I'm not. Okay, this is just to use as a guide so that you can get your spacing right on your next row. Okay. See that? Now, take my tape. I'm not paying real close attention to the comments, guys, so if anybody's asking me any questions and I'm not catching it, I'm sorry. Okay. Alright, so my next row, I can't see, hold on just a second, let me get me some light over here. Okay, so my next row is I'm gonna start it on the same horizontal. Kid's not in bed like he's supposed to be. Okay,
I heard that.
so I'm gonna start the same the same vertical that I started my other piece, okay? And I'm gonna go around, and you can see I've got little cracks. It's not gonna hurt anything. Okay. And I know I'm probably not getting this super straight. Okay, so go all the way around, and you meet back up. Okay. Turn this off. Alright. My black tape stuck everywhere. Okay, so this second piece that you put on, that's coming off, okay? But keep this because I'm going to reuse it. I'm going to use that to get my spacing close as I go down the cup, okay? So, then you take it and you put it right up against this one. Sorry this is taking so long, guys. It is a time-consuming tumbler. That was something else that was kind of intimidating to me, is I knew that it would take a while. And if I wasn't doing this video, and feeling all nervous about the video, it probably wouldn't take me as long this time to do this. Okay. Alright, so I've got my spacer piece of tape. Okay. And go around. It's so quiet in my house. I should be asleep. Okay. Alright. Bring it all the way around. Okay. Pull your spacer off. Okay. And I was looking at the one that I taped off earlier, and my squares were not perfect at all on that one, but I was trying to rush around and get it prepped and ready to go for this tutorial, so it wasn't exactly perfect. But I think this one's gonna be mine anyway, so I'm not gonna be too picky about it. Now, obviously, if I was doing it for a customer, I wouldn't be as rushed. I haven't been doing tumblers for very long, so I'm by no means perfect at them. I have seen lots of awesome, or it could be yours. Yes, Rusty, it could. But it can't be a surprise if you know about it. So, I have seen some really awesome tumblers from so many really talented people in all of the groups that I'm in. And it's kind of intimidating, because I think I get a really good idea for one that I want to do, and then someone posts this super awesome tumbler, and it's really creative and kind of out of the box, and then I'm like, well, I thought mine was cool, but it really wasn't as cool as that one. I enjoy doing these tumblers in general, because even if you mess one up, sometimes they're happy mess ups, because it doesn't always mean that it has to be stripped and started over. Okay, almost there, guys. Oh. See, I'm talking and doing stuff at the same time, and I'm forgetting what I'm doing. Okay. I can't get that. I had my plates down here earlier when I was typing, and it made it a little bit easier. If I could come up with a easier, less time-consuming way to do this tape, I would so do it. But like I said, I'm not super creative, so okay. I don't think I'd be able to come up with an easier way than this. Jennifer had a really genius idea with the templates, and I think it makes a huge difference on trying to get this tape to lay right. I feel like my squares are going downhill too. I can use the electrical tape a lot easier than I can masking tape. I'm not really sure why, because I know how much electrical tape can change its shape and its size. And if you pull on it just right, it's not a straight edge anymore. But for some reason, electrical tape just does not work masking tape just does not work for me. I did notice when I did the black and blue tumbler, that I had a little bit of bleeding underneath the tape when I was pulling my tape off. Kind of worried me at first, and which it's probably just because I didn't press my tape down well enough around my cup before I painted. But when I went to glittering my cup, you don't notice it. You don't see it. It doesn't affect your squares and your straight edge. So if it bleeds, if your top coat bleeds underneath your tape, don't worry about it. It's not going to hurt your cup, okay? Alright. So my spacing worked out really well so that I don't have to use that piece I've been using as a guide, because my tape, I'm just going to line my tape's edge up on where this bottom piece goes on your cup, where your seal's at. I'm just going to line it up all the way around the bottom edge there, okay? So you don't have to worry about, I just messed up my tape. You don't have to worry about using your guide there. Let's start. We're almost done. I'll just line this up. I have noticed on the buffalo plaids that I've seen that which it won't do it so much on this one because it's more of a straight line tumbler, but I'll show you on my first one. Your squares are a little bit bigger up top, and as you go down, they're a little bit smaller because it tapers. I don't think there's any way to fix that. But it's not so much that it makes your tumbler look bad. But you don't notice it as much on this one. This built tumbler, I love these. They're more straight line. So to me, they're a lot easier to work with. That's just me. Okay. So we're taped off completely. Okay, we have our squares. I didn't do it on this one, and you don't have to, but on my first one, I ran a piece of tape in the inside on top of your pieces that overlap. You don't have to do that, but the reason why I done that is I didn't want to get any Mod Podge or glitter right around that edge. And when I'm going to leave it on so that when I epoxy my cup, I don't get any epoxy on the inside lip, because I've noticed on a couple of tumblers that I epoxied, that I had epoxy in there, which I know you can get rid of it with an X-Acto knife or acetone, but I forget about doing that, and that's kind of a lot of work, so I'm kind of lazy. Okay, so once you have your vertical and your horizontal tape on your tumbler, you'll take and spray paint your second color. I don't think it really matters as far as your pattern goes which color you spray paint as your base coat and which one is your top coat, because you have those blended squares with your glitter, so it's not going to matter. But the reason why I did white first and then the red is because I wanted to make sure that I didn't have a red base with a white top, and take the chance of having, which I was going to do white on this. This was going to be a red and white tumbler, but I switched last minute to do the red and goldish color. But if you were going to do red and white, I didn't want to have to worry, since these were overlapping, I didn't want to have the base red and then have the white paint on top, and me put white glitter down on that white and be able to see some of that red paint through that white, because you know white doesn't cover red as well. So that's why I did the white first and then the red. With the black tumbler, I did black as my base coat, and then I did the blue, which they were both kind of a dark color, and it might not have mattered any, but I'm a little OCD when it comes to those, so that's why I did that way. So, okay, so I'm going to take just a second. Let me jump over here on my computer. I know we're going back and forth on how many people are on. They're probably tired of listening to me already. And this is going to be a long video, and I'm sure people are ready to be in bed. But, okay, so I'm going to, I have my cup of Mod Podge, okay, and then I need paintbrush, and I'm gonna start with my red glitter first. It doesn't matter which one you start with. It's just the one that I want to start with. So okay. These are not the greatest for funneling your glitter back into your bag or your shaker, but I try to maintain as little of a mess as possible with my glitter. So I'm going to take a piece, sorry that was loud, and I knocked glitter off my table. I'm going to take a piece of wax paper and put it down on my plate. That way I can funnel my glitter back into my bag, because this is some of my more expensive glitter, and so I want to try to save as much of it as I can. This is Scarlet Red from Yaya's. I think that's backwards, but I haven't tried this one yet. This is a really pretty one I ordered the other day. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, I think you can see pretty well. Paint your, we did all of our taping off, okay? You do your horizontal, you do your vertical tape first, then you do your horizontal tape. Then you're gonna spray paint your top coat, okay? You're going to be left with some open areas that don't have tape on them. That's what we're going to do first. That's what we're going to glitter first, okay? So we're going to take our Mod Podge. Again, I'm going to try to get this where you guys can see it pretty well, okay? And I'm probably going to end up making a mess, but that's okay. Okay, so my Mod Podge dried up a little bit because it took forever for me to be able to get it. For me to go live. Okay. So, you're gonna, this top one doesn't matter how much Mod Podge you get on, because you're gonna pull your tape off. So you don't have to be really pretty and perfect with this first round of glitter, okay? Let's see if I can turn, guys. Okay. So you're gonna Mod Podge your first square, okay, and go sideways and back and forth. That way you're getting, that helps you get a crisp line in your corners, okay? Back and forth. Lay this down somewhere, okay? And I'm gonna take and pour, just 1 second guys, sorry. I'm gonna take and put some glitter in a cup, that way I can work a little bit easier. I don't have all my shakers in yet, so I'm still working out of bags. Okay, this is where the spoons come in handy. And I'm doing away with that. Okay. Alright, so Mod Podge your square. I may have to get new Mod Podge. It kind of got a little... You don't want it to be like gloopy, where you have globs. So try to have a pretty good base smoothed out there. And then just take and tap your glitter on. And then shake it off. Okay, then Mod Podge your next. I do a couple at a time. So you can get it on there quick enough that it won't dry. I don't really like using get my stuff straight. I don't really like using Mod Podge because it doesn't have as long of a dry time as what epoxy does. So I really like using epoxy to apply my glitter. And apparently there's been some ladies that are doing a buffalo plaid or the peppermint twist tumblers, and they're actually doing epoxy to apply their glitter. How they do it, I don't know. They're geniuses because I don't like Mod Podge. But I feel like I would make a huge mess if I tried to do a buffalo plaid with epoxy. And you get a pretty good coverage with the Mod Podge because you're not doing a whole tumbler with Mod Podge. I have a hard time doing a whole tumbler with Mod Podge for the glitter because it dries before I can get all my glitter on. But since you're working in small squares with this, it goes pretty well. Again, it's not like I have to. I don't think that you do base coats with paint. I like it because I get a really good coverage with my glitter, and I don't use as much glitter. It's handy to have the plate because then you can just shake all your glitter off into the plate. I'm going to show you guys how to mix your glitter for your squares in between also. You guys see okay? I'm not paying enough attention. Whoops. I'm messy. I have glitter all over the house. Kids go to school with glitter all over them. The hubby goes to work with glitter all over him. They don't complain about it too much, though. I think they've all gotten used to the fact that mom does glitter and it's everywhere. You're also going to end up with glitter on your brush. And that's fine. That's why I have the little Dixie cup. You can't even see my Dixie cup of Mod Podge, because I don't want to dip it back into my big container and have glitter all in that. But it's not going to hurt your cup if you have glitter on your paintbrush. Okay. This part goes a little bit faster. And I'm probably not, just for the sake of, which we haven't been on an hour yet. Not quite, almost. But for the sake of saving such a long video, saving from having such a long video and everyone being up so late, I'm not going to completely finish the tumbler tonight. All my squares. I'm just going to do, I'm going to go step by step through these squares, your mixed squares, until we have all the tape off and we're doing our freehand. That way everybody knows each one of the steps. I did go back on my other, my black and blue tumbler. After I had all my squares done, I did notice a couple of spots that weren't covered super well. So I did go back and touch those up. You could kind of tell where I touched them up just a little bit. So I'm going to have to probably go back and fix that so that it doesn't show through on my epoxy. But for the most part, you get pretty good coverage. I didn't have to touch up very much. Making a mess. I spilt Mod Podge all over my desk before I started trying to pour it in my cup. Okay. Alright. Okay, so we have all of our squares that were exposed, glittered. It looks like it did pretty well. Okay, so now what we're going to do is you're going to find where you started with your tape, or where you ended when you were wrapping. We're going to remove the horizontal tape first, okay? And go slow. The Mod Podge, you want to do this when the Mod Podge is still wet, because if you do it when it's dried, it's going to pull your glitter off your tumbler. So you want to do it while it's still wet. And I always pull it kind of at an angle. And you just pull it off slow. See if I can do this so you guys can see pretty well. I have a makeshift tripod that's got my phone attached to it so that I could do this live tonight. Put that in the trash. I'm surprised it hasn't fell off yet, but I hit the Dollar Tree when I couldn't find the right kind of tripod set up for my phone. So I hit the Dollar Tree before I got ready to start my live. So my tripod consists of a cell phone vent, or cell phone holder for the vent of your car, and a paper towel holder and electrical tape. I plan to invest in an actual tripod. Okay. So you just pull your horizontal pieces of tape off. This is rather satisfying to me because I get those really, this is when you get to see your really crisp lines. I like it. Mod Podge is still a little bit wet. I probably got it a little thick in a couple of places, but it's going to dry. It'll be fine. I really wanted to do a red and white plaid, but it scares me to try to do something with white like that, white glitter, that you're doing this sort of process, because I'm pretty sure I'd have red glitter all in my white, and I would be sad. But what I was thinking is if you do, I don't think it would matter which glitter you started with, whether it was your white or it was your other color, as long as once you got, you sealed. If I haven't tried it yet. It's an experiment. I want to try it. Someone else may have done it. I haven't researched it enough to see if anyone else has tried it. But like doing the red, sealing it, doing my mixed colors, sealing it, and then doing just the white. And hopefully you would be able to keep your red out of, or whatever color out of your white. Once I get past my craft fair that I'm trying to get ready for, I may actually try that one. Okay, so we pulled off all of our horizontal tape. Kind of reminds me of Mickey Mouse. So we pulled off all of our horizontal tape. So now what we're going to do is we're going to mix our two glitters. Okay, and let me set this down. So on a buffalo plaid, you're not going to have, let me show you. You're not going to have a solid color on top of or next to your other solid color. Okay, you're going to, let's see if I can angle this so you guys can see it. Okay, you're going to, your solid colors are going to be catty corner from each other, not on top or side by side. Your mixed colors are going to be on top and beside. That's what makes your buffalo plaid. Okay, so that's what you have to make sure that you watch with your patterns. Okay, I have to say hi. He's supposed to be in bed. He doesn't listen too well. Say hi, Rusty. Rusty's watching. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, let me read comments real quick. I love glitter, yes. Especially the red. Red's one of my favorite. My angle's off, so I'm glad that you guys... I know, it'll be so much easier. He really did not need that pop. He's waited till I got on live before he decided to. If I could get a real tripod, my angles would probably a lot better and it'd be even easier to see. But I have to have lots of light for my workspace, or things just don't go right. So, okay, all right. So now I'm going to mix my glitters. This kind of hurts when I do this because go lay down. This kind of hurts when I do this part because I feel like I don't know, even though I know that I'm doing it for this pattern, I feel like I'm being wasteful. Okay, so I'm going to get a new plate. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to read comments. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and mix. This is trial and error. I don't know if this will turn out the same way as it did in my two other colors, but we're going to try it. So I'm going to take 2 scoops of the red. Hopefully I can get away with just 2 scoops of that, since that is my more expensive one. It's not that much more expensive, but I had to wait longer on it because you have to order it. Okay, and then I'm going to take this here. This is just this is silver champagne. It's a fine glitter that I got at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. One of the two. Okay, so with this one, I did 2 of the red, and I'm going to do 3 of this color. I'm pretty sure I can get 3 out of here. Not exact, just kind of rounded. And you will have plenty of this left over. I'm just going to do 2 and see what that looks like. You're going to have this left over, which was kind of what made me feel bad about mixing my glitters, because I was going to have that left over. But I'm going to make more buffalo plaid, and you can always, this is a really pretty mix, so I mean I could use this on another Christmas cup, so it'll get used. Glitter never goes to waste, right? Okay, so I am going to go ahead and do 3 of this champagne color. I think the way I heard the mixing of these 2 colors, the way you want it to look is you want it to be lighter versus darker, which might not make sense since this is not a black and a blue. But you don't want it to just be more red, but you don't want it to be, you can't mix it easily. Like you can't do 2 and 2 because you're not gonna differentiate between your colors as much as what you need to. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that. You really probably can't tell. But I'm pretty happy with how that mixed. So I'm gonna leave that like that. So I did 2 red and 3 of the champagne color. Okay. All right. So now what we're gonna do? Get my Mod Podge. Okay. This is where using this type of brush comes in really handy. Jennifer used the foam brush. It worked really well for her, but I didn't feel like I had as much control with my Mod Podge with that brush is what I do with this. Okay, so now what you're gonna do is where you've pulled your tape and you have an exposed square, you're not gonna overlap Mod Podge on top of glitter. You're gonna, let's see if I can get it really good. You're gonna butt right up against that red. My Mod Podge is dry. Sorry guys. You're gonna go right up against your red. This is where your crisp lines come in. Okay, go right up against. Coat that really well. Okay. I'm going to do a couple of squares. Go right up against your red. And then turn, trying to see, get where you guys can see, and then go right up against your red on this side and pull it towards the middle. Okay. And then smooth that out so you don't have globs of Mod Podge. Okay. Then you're going to take your mix and sprinkle it on. Okay. So can you see that? I don't know if the light's really good. So, okay. So you'll just do this all the way around with all of your what you have exposed. Okay. My laptop's making noise. Looks like my red paint bled a little bit when I spray painted. I don't think that I pressed my tape down really well. I was in a hurry trying to cook dinner and get everything ready for the live. So I didn't have very long for my paint to have to dry before I was ready to start. But then it didn't work out that I was able to go live, so it wasn't a big deal. But anyways, I didn't press my tape down really super well, so it bled a little bit. But we're going to be covering it up, so if you have any areas where it ran or bled underneath your tape, don't worry about it. You can hide a lot with this. That's one reason I ended up really liking this cup, doing this cup, because I was able to hide it, some mistakes. It's a lot easier than you think it is once you get going. Okay. Oops, missed one. Okay. So, it's so pretty. Okay. I don't do the edge. I stay on the flat part. I don't take it over the lip. That way I have a really good clean line. And the epoxy will cover, the lip, but not go inside. Okay. I've seen where some of these buffalo plaids, they're not doing the very bottom of the cup. I'm not good at taping off, and that's extra work, but I do like that it kind of helps protect your edge a little bit, because if for some reason they were to drop the tumbler and it landed on the edge, you're less likely to crack epoxy and mess up the cup. But I don't like taping off, so that's why I do bottom to top. Once you have to start watching your lines and your edges, it's a little more time consuming. I think I'm actually doing a little bit better on time tonight, though, than what I did last night. It felt like it took forever last night for me to get done with my black and blue one. I want to think it took me about 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours. I had my headphones in, and after some point Easton went to sleep, so I had no distractions. And the hubby was having a guy's night, so it was just me and my glitter. Alright. I don't even know what time it is, guys. I know I had some people jump off. We're moon calves around here, and that's what my husband calls somebody that stays up all night. Moon calves. I forget what I'm doing and I move. I don't know if you can see it real well. Looking like a plaid. This is a very satisfying tumbler for me to do, because there's so much detail to this one. I mean, not that there's not detail to just a basic ombre or whatever, but I got too much Mod Podge. It was just really satisfying to me when I had my finished project, because I felt like I put a ton of work into it, and it was so time consuming. But then again, I feel very accomplished when I sweep and mop my floors, so anyways. Okay. This is probably one of my messier cups. I make a bigger mess doing this cup. Okay, so I still have 3 more rows to do, but I don't even know what time it is. Let me jump on real quick, guys, and see what I got for comments. Everybody's still on? What time is it? 10 o'clock's not too bad. Probably some folks ready for bed. Okay, so what I'm going to do, just so I can save some time, I'm going to pull off my vertical tape and do another solid, so you guys can see that part, because I know this has got to be getting old. We're a little over an hour, so I know it's got to be old sitting here watching me do this. So let me set this down, and I'm going to move this. Hi. Hopefully by the time I get ready to do my next live, I'm way better at it than what I've done tonight. Okay, so I'm going to grab another plate, and we're going to do, I'm going to take the lid off my champagne. I don't know if I can get a spoon in there or not. Yeah. Okay. So, you ready for the next satisfying part? I'm weird. This is so neat to me, to pull my tape off and see my crisp lines. Okay, so let's pull off the horizontal, vertical tape. Thank you. I know I'm not going to pronounce your name correct, and that's why I haven't even tried. I'm horrible, and I would not want to say your name wrong. I grew up everyone saying my name wrong, so it was kind of irritating at times. So, but thank you so much for being here and watching me jabber all night. Okay, so I stuck this one really well, I think. Okay. I try to do this so I don't get tape in my glitter. Okay. Oh, okay. Natasha. Beautiful name. I love it. Thank you for telling me how to pronounce it. I probably, at first, when I first seen it, that's how I thought you would say it, but I wasn't for sure, so I didn't even try. Okay. I'm going to pull a couple pieces. I think my paint was still a little tacky when I did this, so it's sticking pretty good. There's glitter going everywhere. Okay. So it looks like I messed it up. It scares me a little bit. But, okay, so now what we're going to do is our solid champagne color, okay? And this is where the freehand part comes in. And this might be a little intimidating. Anything freehand always intimidates me because I'm not a painter or a drawer. I used to be a long time ago when I was in high school. But that's what intimidated me when she told me that you were going to have to freehand Jennifer when I was watching her video. When she said freehand, I kind of got really nervous. But it's really not hard, I promise, okay? That's where my Mod Podge is getting thick. Hold on just a second, guys. Let me pour more Mod Podge. It's getting thick. Just a little bit more. And that's where I spilled it earlier when I did that. Okay. I have a huge desk, but sometimes it feels like it's not big enough. Okay. So, this is where having, to me, everyone's different. Some people are really awesome with these foam brushes. I'm not. Okay. So, this really fine edge works really well for this part. Plus, it's smaller. Actually, I'm lying. I got a smaller one last time. 2 seconds. Let me go grab my other brush, guys. Sorry. These are always in my dish drainer because I wash them really well once I'm done. Okay, so I think with the Ozark that I done last night, I was able to use this bigger one. I don't know what size this is. I'm not good with measurements. But it had the bigger squares, so I was able to use that one and this smaller one last night. This one being the straight line, you have more consistent, consistently shaped squares. So I was able to use this one. I don't want to cut the foam brush, so I'm just going to downsize on my brush so I can get in there a little bit easier, because these are smaller squares than what I was working with last night. Okay. So I keep repeating this because I have to remind myself in order to not mess up my pattern. Solid colors are not going to go beside each other or on top of each other. Your blended, and I lied to you because we're going to do another mix. I'll have to bring the mix back. Sorry. See, that's why I have to remind myself, because I get mixed up and forget what I'm doing. Okay, so we're not going to do this, and I'm going to bring back my mix. Hold on. Okay. So, again, your mixed color is going to go in between your solids. You're not going to have solid next to solid, otherwise it'd be a full stripe. Your other colors not your. Let me try this again. Your solid colors are not going to go next to each other side by side, and they're not going to go on top of each other. Your mixed colors are going to go beside, in between each solid, if I'm making any sense at all. Let me just do it. Okay, so I'm going to go next to, let me start at the bottom, and let me see if I can get where you guys can see. Okay, so I'm going to go to this red right here, okay, and you've got corner to corner so that you can get a straight line, and you use the edge of your brush and just pull it down to the middle, okay. Then you do side and side. Too much brush, okay. And then the bottom's pretty easy because you got your line where your little cap goes on the bottom. Okay, pull it to the middle. Then you take your mix. This is your two colors mixed, okay? Next to your solid red square. And tap your glitter in. Okay. So where this mixed color is in that white square right there, that's not stuck to Mod Podge. I didn't put Mod Podge there, okay? The reason why that's there is because it sticks to your paint, okay? But that's going to come off. You can take, if it really bugs you, you can take another brush and brush it off a little bit. It's not all going to come off, because if you get in a hurry like I did and your paint wasn't completely dry, plus glitter has, you know, electrostatic, static electricity. And it's going to stick to that anyways. But it's okay, because you're going to cover that up with Mod Podge and your other solid color. So it's okay, don't worry about it. Okay, so I'm going to go to my next red squares. Okay. Kiddo's still not in bed asleep like he's supposed to be. I can't go full mama mode while I'm live, so he's taking advantage of that. Okay. This part for me is a little more time consuming because you have to make sure you get your edges real straight. Okay. I'm going to do this whole row and then I'll switch to our other solid color. And I said earlier that, you know, you can fix boo-boos or goof-ups really well with this tumbler. And sometimes I'm not really great at my lines, or I get Mod Podge on a color that I don't need to have overlap it. But it's okay because when I go back, I can just, like this red, I know you probably can't see it, but I got a little bit of Mod Podge on this red. And this this mixed color is going to stick to it, but I can go back later and cover that up with the red. Just for doing touch-ups. Because there are going to be a few squares where you're probably not going to have a super great coverage, and you're going to go back and touch up. I do one at a time when I do this one, instead of doing a couple at a time. I'm gonna have to eat dinner after I get done with this live. I skipped dinner. I cooked it and made sure everybody else ate, but I forgot to because I was wanting to get on and do this live. Okay. Okay. So, this is where we're at. I did this whole row. So now I'm going to go back because I know it's getting late and I'm losing some people because I'm sure they're all ready to go to bed. So, I'm going to move this down. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my champagne color. Okay. Alright. So now we're going to do, now you have mixed on both sides and mixed on top and bottom. So that's what you're going to do now. That little blank spot in there that's still white, that's what you're going to go back and do with your second color. This is where you pick up a lot of glitter on your brush. So you just, my lighting is not the greatest, so I'm probably overlit. Corner to corner to get your straight line, okay, and then side to side. Okay. See? Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Okay, so I'm going to do a few more so you can really see the pattern start to pop. having these sharp corners on my brush really helps trying to get your corners really crisp with your squares. I hope you guys can see that as well as I can. There we go. And there's where your buffalo plaid pattern really starts to show. I probably could have went with a little more of the champagne color in my mix, but I'm pretty happy with it. There's no set guideline on how you do your mix. That's how you want to do it, how you want it to look. I seen somebody post a buffalo plaid tumbler that they did in one of my groups. I can't tell you which group it was. But you know how... Thank you, Natasha. I love red and gold. And it's Christmas, and Christmas is my favorite. So I'm glad I switched. Which white and red's Christmas too, but I really think this is going to look really good. I noticed a tumbler that somebody posted in one of my other groups. You know how the actual buffalo plaid pattern, like in a blanket or a shirt, it's where your color is mixed here. It has like the stripes in it. Well, she went in and she put the stripes, and her tumbler turned out so amazing. I was so jealous. Again, that was one of those freehand, really creative, crafty things that I knew I wouldn't have been able to do. But it was a really neat looking tumbler. Oh, I love it so much. Okay. I don't know if the little sister's going to end up with this one. I really like this one. I didn't get a reaction with her. She might done be asleep. I really wish we'd have been able to have more people from the group watch tonight. I was really excited to do this. But maybe once I get a little more practice, I'll do another video. If you're nice, maybe Santa Claus will give you one for Christmas. I'm going to finish this row. This tumbler is kind of relaxing to me because you've got to be really detailed and pay really, I mean, for me anyways, you pay attention to what you're doing. Almost done with this row. Okay, so there we go. I think I got my lines crooked up and down, but maybe it won't be too noticeable once I get it finished. Okay, so I'm going to stop there with this. I'm going to look through comments and make sure that I didn't miss anything on if anybody had any questions or anything. Let me, what I did there. Okay, so let me go through here. I don't know who all's still on. I've got 6 on. Does anybody have... It's really not hard at all, Natasha. It's super easy once you get going. As long as you've got down your pattern and you know what squares go where, you'll do fine. Don't be afraid. I really like the colors. They did go really well together. But do try it. It's really not hard. It's just really time consuming. That's what I didn't really like about it, is that it took so much time. But once you get done with it, once I pulled all the tape off and I had all of my squares glittered on my blue and black tumbler, I was in love with it, and I was so glad, and I was ready to do another one. So definitely try it. If you have any questions or you need help or anything like that, my tutorial is not the greatest. I probably could have given more info, and so if you're in some of the other groups, look up Jennifer L. Ness, Ness, and search Tumblr Plaid, and her link will come up. Her video will come up. It's a pretty long video. Hers was about 2.5 hours, but she goes over a 30 ounce and a 20 ounce cup, and she goes start to finish. Which her tumblers were base coated when she started, but she'll even take you through the spray painting process too on both tumblers. And so might even actually been more than 2 hours, but she covers a lot of stuff. She's done a ton of plaid tumblers, and she has a link for the templates, and these are a lifesaver if you're not good at making tape be straight. So look her up. Message me if you have any questions. I don't know a whole lot. I haven't been doing tumblers for very long, but I really enjoy doing them. So if I don't know it, I can probably find out, and I'll try to help you the best I can. So anyways, I guess I'm going to jump off here. Thanks everybody for watching. I know there wasn't very many. I'm sad that some of the others from the group on Facebook couldn't join in. Hopefully the next time I'll do better, and I'll be able to have a little more success of getting on where everybody can watch. But anyways, thanks everybody. Have a good night, and I'll see you next time.